Hey everybody, and welcome back to my YouTube channel where everything is designed to help you live a life you love so you love life more. Today's episode is about self-improvement mastery, and in particular, 6 essential strategies that you need to do to unleash your potential. Man, I can't wait to share a lot of these strategies with you because they have made a massive difference, not only in my life, but in the people that I coach as well. So without further ado, let's get into it, eh? All right, so you often get asked that question, are you ready to unlock your full potential? Often when people ask that question, they don't even follow up with how you're going to do it. Well, they give some sort of pithy advice that actually doesn't resonate with you at all. Today's going to be different, my friends, because today, each of these is going to make a massive difference in your life if you're prepared to, 1, make the change, and 2, implement it. So, with that in mind, are you ready to unleash the best version of yourself? I hope so, because this is definitely going to help. If you've been wondering about how to do it and ways that you can implement these strategies, then wonder no more, because this is going to give you everything that you need to know. Okay, so my number 1 strategy for helping you to unleash your potential is to set goals. Oh God, you say, it's not goal setting again. Yeah, goal setting. Man, it is just super critical that you understand the power of goal setting. Now, rather than just leave you with that and saying, yeah, it's really important, here's 2 different ways that you can set goals. The first one, which most people have heard of, is SMART goals. Specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. Now, what this allows you to do is it allows you to take a goal and basically break it down into ways that you're going to be able to achieve it. Because sometimes having a goal isn't enough. In fact, let me tell you right now, having the goal isn't enough. You've actually got to break it down into bite-sized chunks. And each of those bite-sized chunks can be attacked or done, ticked off your list, whatever you want to say. So that by the time you finish that step and you move on to the next one, you've made progress. Progress towards your goal. Often people overlook how important that progress is. TV tells us as well. You're always looking for the team that scores the winning goal or the player that kicks the winning field goal, or I don't know, whatever, touchdown pass, whatever you want to call it. But actually, there's a lot of little steps that go towards making that even realistic, or making that even achievable. So SMART goals is a way that you can, once again, take a goal and break it down into those little bite-sized steps so that you're the person on the receiving end of that touchdown pass. Another way that I like to approach goals, and this one actually suits a lot more people as well, is to whoop. Now, you would have heard me talk about whooping before. It's where you look at a goal and you think about the wish, the outcome, the obstacles, and then the plan. Whoop. W-O-O-P. I whoop because I prefer it suits my mindset, right? I prefer how it makes me think about what an obstacle is to success and then planning for that. Now, if you've got a perfectionist streak, like me, then whooping is actually quite a useful way of identifying what is something that's going to get in your way and how you can plan for it. There's a little bit of a balance there to be found between planning for something and over planning, but after you familiarize yourself with the whoop process, you'll find that you can sift through obstacles that are likely to happen and you can plan for, and obstacles that, yeah, sure, it might happen, like a meteor hitting the earth, but the likelihood of it happening in your lifetime is pretty slim. So, SMART goals or whoop, pick either of those, give it a try, and then see how you go. I would love to hear your thoughts on it in the comments below. Okay, the second key strategy that you want to be employing or using, if you really want to unleash your potential, is around habit forming. Now, my audience have been with me for a long time, know the importance I place on habits, good habits that is. So whenever I think about a good habit or a bad habit, what I look at doing is identifying, is this going to help me achieve my goal or not? Because sometimes you think, oh yeah, I'll look at doing this habit and I'll make it part of my daily routine. But if that's not actually going to help you achieve your goal, then is that a habit that you want to be using? Is that a habit that you want to make part of your life? I'll leave that to you. But what I do know is that if I've got a goal and I really want to unlock my potential, then I put in these little habits throughout my day that will either increase my gratitude, my performance, my communication, whatever it might be. Examples of good habits for me are when I wake up in the morning, I've made sure that my phone is not in the room because I'm terrible at picking up my phone and scrolling while I'm in bed. Instead, part of my good habit routine is that the night before I put it in on the charger and I actually place my phone on the charger at the other end of my house, as far away from me as I can get it. This sets my day up nicely, because what happens is when I wake up in the morning, I don't do that thing, we sometimes do, where you just kind of instantly reach for your phone and then start mindlessly scrolling. Instead, I've put in place that first key habit. Right, Eddie, if you want to use your phone, you've got to get up and get out of bed. You've got to go to the other side of the house and you've got to unplug it. That sets up two things for me. One is, if I'm really awake, sure, I'll go and do it. But actually, if I would benefit from having a bit more shut-eye, then let the phone stay where it is. That is one example of a habit that I've used in my day. Another one that's probably a bit more dramatic for many of you is I have an ice bath every day. I'm not just talking about a cold shower either. I'm talking about climbing into an ice bath packed full of ice and getting that absolute shocking sensation that comes with it. My wife and I have made ice baths part of our daily routine. Neither of us likes the cold. In fact, I'd go so far as to say I hate it. But that being said, an ice bath is an incredibly potent way of starting my day. Once again, those two habits combined really amplify my performance. So if you want to start unleashing your potential, make sure habits and identifying good habits is on your radar. Okay, my next key strategy if you want to unleash your potential is being prepared to grow. Now that might sound uncanny. You're probably watching this video thinking, of course I want to grow. But that may not be the case. You see, there's a difference between wanting to grow and actually actively looking at how you can grow. I'll explain it like this, right? I coach a whole bunch of people, professionals, managers, business owners, entrepreneurs, doctors, you name it. I can tell within 30 minutes of meeting a person whether they actually want to be coached and they want to grow, or they're just ticking a box. Box tickers don't do well with me because I'm wasting my time and they're wasting theirs. I would encourage you not to waste your time. If you're really looking at growing, a key principle that you need to get familiar with, excuse the pun, is be uncomfortable and grow. Now, I've often described this, and this is how it looks. Let's say on any particular thing, we'll say public speaking, because that seems to scare people most. Let's say this is where your comfort level is on public speaking, and this is where you're uncomfortable. Each time you put yourself in a position where you're having to practice public speaking, or even doing it in front of a mirror or your phone, you're familiarizing yourself with being uncomfortable. Eventually, as your confidence grows and as your comfort level grows, this is your new sense of comfort, and your new sense of being uncomfortable is up there somewhere. So remember, you need to be receptive to this. You need to want to grow and actively seek out growth. That is a key strategy that you can use if you want to unleash your potential. Okay, here's another key strategy that you want to use, or at least be aware of, if you want to unleash that potential of yours. You've got to be comfortable with overcoming challenges. Overcoming challenges means you're going to make mistakes and you're going to fail and you're going to make more mistakes and you're going to make more failures. That's part of the process. Being comfortable with that and knowing that in advance is going to help you so much. If you're anything like me, you're a bit of a perfectionist, you hate making mistakes, or at least I used to. I switched that around a few years ago and it has just been so good for my mental health. When you're comfortable with making mistakes, you stop worrying about what's going to go wrong and you just start doing. You start doing and you start trying more things as well. Being able to overcome challenges, being comfortable with making mistakes and not having things to go your way is going to be one of your superpowers. What you want to do is each time you make a mistake, learn from it. And if you make the mistake again, then learn from it again. Sometimes we make a mistake more than once, and that's okay. Don't beat yourself up about it. They often say that a mistake is an opportunity for learning, and it's right. So instead of trying to correct every mistake you've made, just take the L, the loss, take it on the chin, learn from it, and move on. Being able to build up your resilience and when you're overcoming challenges is going to be one of the key fundamentals that is going to allow you to make progress. And remember, progress equals success. So if you're worried about making mistakes, then I strongly encourage you to make as many of them as you can. You can almost put mistakes on a bit of a spectrum as well, right? There's the small mistakes that you really can make and nobody dies. And then there's the kind of mistakes where, you might lose your house or a loved one. You don't want to make those mistakes, obviously, but worth noting. So get familiar with making lots of little mistakes, be comfortable with it, take them as learning opportunities, forget about trying to correct them, move on, and use that as another way of unleashing your potential. Okay, so the next way you can unleash that potential of yours is to cultivate a positive mindset. Now, this can be difficult for a lot of people, and it's difficult because you can't see the thing that you're putting the effort into. How can I tell that my mindset's improved? Where's the measurement? Where's the thing I can put my hand on so I can say, yeah, that's it, it's made a difference? It's really hard to find, right? But take my word for it, and if you can't, take the research word for it. There's a stack of evidence that tells us that cultivating a positive mindset will allow you to build perseverance, resilience, and you'll also be one of these glass half full people. How do I do it, you say? This is actually quite easy. There's a gratitude exercise that's well renowned for being extremely effective, and it's got the science to back it up. This gratitude exercise looks like, in the morning, identifying 3 things that you're grateful for. Now, many people like to write it down. I simply say it out loud and verbalize it. But here's an example. When I wake up in the morning, maybe sometime after I'm having breakfast, or even when I'm eating breakfast is a good idea, let's start with that. I will say to myself, I'm so grateful that I can eat this food right now. And I let that feeling sit with me. Now, as with any muscle, at first it might not feel very strong when you do it, but the more you exercise this gratitude muscle, the stronger it will become. So I do that 3 times every day, at least. For example, I'm grateful that I can eat this food. And then later on, I might say, I'm grateful that I can spend time with my wife today. And then maybe even later on during the day, I might say, I'm grateful that I can spend time with my kids. Or I'm grateful that I have time to make this recording. You get the point, right? It's actually a really, really powerful way of helping you to cultivate a positive mindset. Once again, you might not be able to see it on a graph or anything, but I can assure you that by doing this, it is going to unlock doors in your mind that you never thought were possible. Cultivate a positive mindset if you want to unleash your potential. Oh, I nearly forgot. Here's another way that you can cultivate a positive mindset. Start with the phrase, I am. For example, I am good at tying up my shoes, or I am good at making breakfast, or I am a good listener. Whatever you run with, keep using it, keep going with that, and keep adding to it as well. That will tell you and reinforce in your mind that yes, you are good at things. What this does is it takes what's called a strengths-based approach. Now, a strengths-based approach is where you're good at something, and then by recognizing it, you can start to transfer skills from the thing that you're good at into other areas of your life that you might be working on. Remember the phrase, I am, and use that every day. Okay, our last one to wrap this up is to practice self-reflection and self-awareness. Now, once again, this can be a little bit hard for people, but it comes down to familiarity with the process. It's like a muscle, right? The more you work it, the stronger it'll become. It's one thing to be busy, and productive, looking at ways to improve yourself, but nothing reinforces all of that more than taking time to power yourself down and just reflect on the progress that you've made, the kind of person you are, and where you're going. Those are 3 key ways that you can start to assess how you're tracking, and you can start to make tweaks and changes as well to make sure it fits in with your lifestyle and the goals that you've set. If you aren't already familiar with it, check out some of my videos where I talk about a modified Johari window. That's where you look at identifying what are called your blind spots. Blind spots are basically your behaviors or perceptions that other people can see in you that you can't see yourself. Well, if you use that kind of process, you'll also be able to find out behaviors and perceptions of yourself that other people aren't aware of. And you can choose how much of that you share with the public as well. Another really cool thing about self-reflection and self-awareness is that it gives you a chance to be honest with yourself. Taking that time means that you can really ask yourself the question, am I going in the direction I want to be going? And if not, why? What are the things that are in front of me that are stopping me from achieving my goal? What is it about me that's stopping me from achieving my goal? Self-reflection and self-awareness is massively underestimated, but it's actually going to prove to be one of the key tools in your toolbox to help you unleash that potential of yours. And there you have it. Man, that was a gangbuster approach to unleashing your potential, right? Everything from setting goals through to self-awareness and self-reflection packed into that episode. I can guarantee you that if you employ at least 2 of those, you're going to find changes happening in your life. Positive ones too. Like any big change, it starts with the small ones first. So once again, I'd encourage you to pick out 2 of those start with them, and let us know how you're tracking in the comments as well. Self-improvement and that ability to unleash your potential isn't an overnight thing. But what you can do is by setting those goals up front, you can start to see yourself making progress towards it. That becomes critical because often we're so busy being busy that we forget to have a look at how much progress we've actually made. And remember, progress equals success. I trust this video was extremely useful for you. Once again, do remember to smash that like and subscribe button and follow me so you can make sure you get access to the latest tips and strategies to help you unleash your potential and live a life you love so you love life more.